I was so impressed because like your whole family, like everybody got involved, and I love that. So it's like a family affair with you and with basketball, and you got basketball tradition in your family.
Yes. Yeah. My daughter still continues to help us. She's one of our assistants. And then my husband and son, they're everywhere I go. My father, who actually passed away in May, I think when I spoke with you last year, we were struggling. But the girls, when all that happened, you talk about a support system. These girls were amazing. And as I've told the parents, the girls, and everybody I know, these girls not only, I think, grew as basketball players last year, but they grew in my heart, and they grew as young ladies. We had no seniors last year, so we're all back together this year, and it feels special this year. And I hope so, because we do have 2 seniors this year, and I hope we can have a special year this year.
Oh, I think you will. I think that's what I love hearing that, and I don't want to focus, we've got a lot to cover here because you have been having some games, and we want to talk about that. But I think that, basketball and learning the skills of basketball, ladies, is so important, and, and something you can take, down the road for the rest of your life. But you're learning so many life skills. And just like what you're talking about, that family, that support, that's learning. And as a team, you're going to have, in your work environment someday in life, you're going to have people that you're going to have different, just like your teammates, you're going to have different personalities, and everybody has to work together for the common goal. And I think, don't you feel like that too, high school sports? I feel like I'm doing it for the Indiana High School Sports Association. I'm doing a commercial for them.
Yeah.
But right, how invaluable and how important they are.
Oh, I think when kids play sports, and even in high school, you have so many kids and backgrounds and everything trying to mix together, and then you try to gel all those together into a team, and we have this common goal that we're trying to work towards together. And like I said, these girls have been amazing, and we talked about what we want as our goals this year, and but more than anything, these girls, like I said, they as we go, I see them. Like last year we had lots of freshmen, sophomores that were playing, and now, they're all year older, and just to see the maturity this year, just on the court, being leaders with each other, encouraging each other. I think last year at the beginning they acted scared of me, and now they know who I am, so I don't think they're that scared of me anymore. So,
injured.
Yeah, that's what I know. I can't catch them. All I can do is throw a crutch at them. But anyway, I'm not a pro player.
Well, let's introduce, who do we got with us tonight? Shelby Griffith. Shelby, and you are a senior?
Yes.
All right. How long have you been, tell us your basketball career.
I've played basketball ever since I was little. My sisters have always played basketball, so I've just always been around it.
Mm-hmm. How's it mean to play for your senior year? Is it exciting? Or?
It is very exciting. It's just me and Eva, so yeah, pretty fun being with my best friend.
And how does that, how have you felt like you had to jump in, as 2 seniors, and we're going to talk to Eva in just a minute. You're not off the hook either. But how has that felt like, to step up in that leadership position?
Yeah, it's definitely different, just being 2 of us being the leaders, but our team is very together. We all are friends, so it's pretty easy to be a leader.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, you waited for this, right, for this time, and so do you feel like this is going to be the team that really has a great season?
Yeah, I think we started off good, and I think we're going to have a great rest of the season.
Awesome. I think your senior year is so valuable, and it'll go by so quick, right?
I know. That's sad.
Yeah. Kristen, I think we talked a little before we went on the air, like 28 games or so, 30 games. That's a lot of games. I mean, you guys are going to be spending a lot of time together, correct?
Yeah.
Basketball is a pretty long season. I mean, you go through Thanksgiving, you go through Christmas, you go through, then January, it's those long winter months, and that's what really makes it nice, though, with the group we have. I think they all get along great, and, so it makes it more fun. And we try, I'm going to try to break things up, and, we try to have some fun in there, too, and it's not all business. But these girls, I will say they're a lot of fun, too. We've got some characters on the team, too. So,
well, you have fun while you're doing it. So now that I've got you with the microphone, what tell us, brag on her a little bit, like as far as her senior year being the leader, and is she stepping up? And
yes, she is. So she started all season last year. She went through the pains of getting to know, my new system. Shelby is one that I can say run through the wall, and she's going to do it. She has been, a leader. She's voiced there. She's a quiet one, but she leads by example, and it's perfection. Her work ethic. She's, you see her. You may not know I see this, but I see her encouraging others and things like that. That also is part of being a leader. And these two always like picking out what we get to wear to game day, right?
Hey, that's not a bad gig there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then I do think that's so important. She's probably that quietness. Probably she's thinking. She's probably like planning something. She's probably a thinker and thinking it out, right?
Sometimes I wish she wouldn't think and just. Sometimes she's thinking and it's like, oh, she's good.
Yeah. She's what position do you play?
Guard.
Okay, awesome. And that's a big position. Bringing you're controlling the ball, bringing the ball up, and have you always played that position?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty short, so I probably wouldn't move any forward.
All right. Well, let's talk to your teammate here. And all right, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Eva O'Toole.
And Eva, let's tell us about your senior year and how your career so far with West Washington basketball.
I've also always played with Shelby since we were in elementary, and we started off with a lot in our grade, and it's whittled down to 2.
It happens that way. Yeah.
Basketball's not easy. Basketball's a lot of hours, and basketball's a lot of time. Basketball's not. It's a sport that's physical. I mean, every night these girls, we try not to run them to death every night, but I mean, it's physically, mentally, it's a tough sport, and it's a long season. So, these two kudos for hanging in there with us. We need them. We need these leaders.
That speaks volumes about them.
Yes,
I mean, staying with it. Following it through.
Yeah.
That does speak a lot of volumes. So you started when you were young, and so how's it meant to become? I mean, is this like the time you've been waiting for your senior year? I mean, exciting.
It's definitely exciting. Yeah, I've looked forward to it.
And as far as being a leader, like what are some of the things you do, like with your teammates, to be that leader? I mean, because that's something I know, Kristen. I'm not going to speak for you, but like for every coach, they want to see those leaders, and those take time to develop, and they wait for that, right? I mean. So, like, as a leader, I guess, as far as, being the senior and leading, do you feel like that you stepped up this year? Or?
Yeah, me and Shelby have worked together. Like, at the beginning of the year, we had the team over to my house for a bonfire to the season, and we just encouraged the younger kids and helped them all get used to the environment.
Now, do you guys do any recruiting? Do you go out and, like, tell them we need some lady basketball players? Or?
We try to convince our friend Elliot to play, but she wanted to.
Elliot, if you're listening, or we're working on a senior, she better get in there now. Yeah. Well, Elliot, yeah. Well, and this is the time of year, or this is the time in your life, that you should try everything. And this is great that you guys are trying this and doing this. So, do you want to brag on her a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, first of all, she's another quiet one. These two are quiet, but they lead by example. I mean, they, in practice and things, they're the ones down there getting, our stretches started and all that. But she also, I see the things that she does. She may not know, but I see her being that quiet leader. She is just, if these two, we just get them louder. But anyway, the other thing I want to brag on Eva is she is my FCA, Fellowship Christian Athletes president, and this girl is absolutely amazing. I mean, she's causing it. She's helping us grow that. And so besides her being at basketball and doing all this work and being a leader there, she's taken on some outside roles, and I'm so proud of her. And that leadership that she's done there, she actually keeps me on my toes. But she's amazing. She's an amazing young lady, both of them.
So when you call a timeout and it's really like a tight game, 2 points, and you're down by 2, call a timeout and let Eva give a good prayer. Right. Prayer. We need you to lead us in prayer, right? Everybody.
Right. Leave it to Eva.
That's exactly. I love that. No, that's. I'm very proud of you too, and both of you. I think that's outstanding. I love that. So, then that, again, development that works on your development too, and and the ladies that you are becoming. That's awesome, and the ladies you are now and what you're becoming. So let's talk about your season so far. You've had 3 games, right?
We've had 2 games.
2 games, okay. Yeah. And what kind of team do we have this year? What are we going to be looking for to this season? Let's say this is our first,
right?
And then when we say our last, the next, months down the road when we have our last coach's corner, I can't wait to hear what
how we progress.
Yeah.
Well, I think, just to back up a little bit, to compare where we were last year at this time to where we are now, I feel like we have a much better grasp of our defense that we want. We've been working on trying to get the ball down the floor and learning our lanes and trying to get the ball, pushing it more, and trying to go a little faster pace. But I really want us to be a team that when they hear West Washington, they're like, oh no, their defense just wears us out. And we have some depth this year. We have some girls, and I keep telling them, I mean, I can probably go 8, 9, 10 deep. We've got some really athletic freshmen. We've got some sophomores. We got juniors. We got the whole package. And I would like for us to be, by the end of the season, teams are afraid of our defense. And I want these girls to. It's fun to get out and run the floor. And they're doing a real good job of it right now. But I want to keep building on it and getting better and better and better as the season goes.
Right. So are there any new, like, a lot of times there's, like, maybe things that have changed? Anything that's new in high school girls basketball, like any new rules, any new changes? They never just leave it the same.
Yeah, it is now. There are no one-on-ones.
What?
So after 5 fouls each quarter, you shoot 2 free throws. It's been different. It has been very different. I really think in our last game they fouled us the 5th time, and I think we were supposed to get 2 free throws. But it's so new to everybody, the officials and the book and everybody. So that's a major new rule. So there's no one-on-one. So the strategy at the end of the game of fouling a bad free throw shooter is you got to kind of rethink that now because they're going to get 2 shots no matter what.
Wow. Well, it's good to know, especially for the season, for those, listening on the radio or coming in and watch. We want everybody to come out and support for sure.
Yes.
And that's the ultimate. But if they can't make it, then they have the radio to listen to. So we are looking for a couple more broadcasters for West Washington. So if anybody's listening or if you know of anybody that would like to help us out with that, we'd love to make sure we can, cover your games and be there for you guys.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Thank you.
We're very proud of your school, and you guys doing great things. Started this morning with Kayla Siebel, and then tonight I'm spending with you guys. So this is pretty cool, right?
Thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
And I know. Thank you guys for coming in. But so far the scrimmage and the 2 games. How did we do so far?
I was really proud of the girls. Okay. Our scrimmage we played Floyd Central. And after 3 quarters, we were only down by 3, and they're 4A, big school, big girls, weren't they? They were very big girls.
Yeah.
And then we went to Clarksville, and we won there, and then we went to Linton, and we lost there. But we felt good about it. Linton's ranked number 12 in 2A, so I think it was a good game to see where we were and what things we need to work on. And I think we've worked really hard this week. We have a game tomorrow at South Central. And then we go to White River Valley on Saturday. So we're hoping the things we've worked on this week and improved, hopefully we can pull a couple wins out there.
Right. Absolutely. Love that. And, you kind of got a grace period at that beginning. You kind of got to see how the machine all works, and everybody working together. So
right.
I think that. But it's always, I love from the beginning to the end.
Yes.
That growth.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So, well, ladies, you're absolutely beautiful and awesome, and keep being leaders and great leaders at that. You got a great coach here, and she's backing you. So, everything stacks up to be, going to be a great season. Yeah,
I sure hope so. That's our plan, isn't it, girls?
Yeah.
All right.
So let's let someone else. And but thank you for coming in, and thank you, Susan, because I know this is a little bit more tough for you today. But thanks for coming in. Okay. Get you some food. We want to thank McDonald's for allowing us to be here, and they're really good. And I want to suggest the Big Macs. Okay, they're very healthy. Okay, you'll have some good protein there with the Big Mac and fries. Okay, I will not steer. I could be the food chair in here.
Right.
I won't steer you wrong. Okay.
There you go. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we got coming up next. If you guys will grab, we'll go ahead and get our next group up here. We want to thank McDonald's, definitely right here at Salem, and I'm loving it for sure. And I did get some information that coming up this fall, the McRib will be back, and we're excited about that, that's for sure. But we're going to be talking and with the Eastern Musketeers right now, and Taylor Jury could not be with us, but let me get you headphones on, you guys. You might not be able to hear, but we'll be able to hear you, right? So, yeah. So you might not hear us, but we can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I can hear you good. Yeah. So, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Bri Adams, and I am the JV coach at Eastern.
Okay. And
I'm Eliza Starrett. I'm a sophomore on the varsity team.
I can tell. I know your family.
Yeah.
You're just growing up. Oh my goodness. So, Bri, let's talk about. We want to say Taylor we want our condolences go with Taylor. I mean, for her, she could not be with us, but I'm glad that she could bring you in. And Bri, how long have you been with the JV team?
This is my second year.
Okay. And how closely do you and Taylor work together?
We work pretty close together. Myself, her, and Mikey Batt, the assistant varsity coach. We all kind of team up and tag team as much as we can.
Talk about a three musketeer right there. I mean, with Mikey, I'm a Mikey fan. Yeah. Oh,
he'll love to hear.
Tell him exactly like his fan. I am. I'm a fan of his. I'm one of his roadies. I'll follow him. But anyway, no, you guys, that's a great group there. So let's talk about so far your season. Have you started yet? And tell me a little bit about, because we have got, and I actually have got some really cool announcers. Have you guys heard the announcers that we have got for Eastern? They do a fantastic job, and they did your game the other night.
Amazing. Yeah.
They are. They really are. And I can't wait to listen to them, so I'm very proud of them. And that's on our end, so I'm very proud of them. But tell us a little bit about your season so far, or what are your practices, and about your group.
All righty. So our season has just now kind of gotten started. We have had a scrimmage and 2 games so far for the varsity and the JV. All the way around, we're young this year, but it's a great year for everybody to be able to learn together and grow together and make a lot of progress as a whole team. The JV girls are learning and growing every day, and I think that's the same for the varsity. They're learning and growing every day. They're able to really challenge each other in practice and kind of bring out the best in each other with their players, which is great to see. So, yeah, we're excited. It's been a really good start to hopefully a really good season for us.
And have you just had the one game? Was it one game you played so far, or how many?
We've had 2 games.
2 games. Okay.
Yes, 2 games.
Okay. And who did you? And how are you a senior?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore. Oh, wow. Okay. And how many years? I guess. Tell me your basketball career. Have you started when you were little, or?
Yeah. So I've kind of been playing basketball since I was like in elementary school, and then I just continue to play up till now.
Right. And who inspired you to get involved in basketball?
Probably my older siblings, I would say, and then my mom played basketball when she was in high school too, and so it's kind of just always been like a thing. We had a really good like biddy ball program whenever I was in elementary school, and it was the cool thing to do. So, and then I just kind of stuck with it.
Right. Bri, how important is that? I mean, like starting like that and getting everybody kind of get that taste when they're little, and having them fall in love with the game.
I think that's incredibly important, because not only do you gain a lot of skills at a young age, and you can build upon those skills from a young age to prepare you for a higher level, but I also think that it's important to build those friendships in that sense of like being on a team and having people that have your back on and off the court. So I think more so than just for skills with basketball, I think that it's more important that kids are getting out, getting social, and learning what it's like to be a team player, and accountability and responsibility and things like that. So I think that's something that's really, really important to take away, aside from the skills that you learn at a young age. But you also learn a lot more than just basketball coming out from a young age and continuing on up.
Right, and I think you said, well, we talked about that with West Washington too, that these are like life skills.
Yeah.
You know, and you, Bri, I know, and you could go back and you could think, and you could still hear that one coach in your head, or 2 or 3 coaches in your head, like in life, right? Like right now, just like telling you like sometimes like things to do, or, you know, and there's so many great things, but do you feel like it's harder now to sell that sometimes to get kids, because there are so many things that are out there for children, you know, for kids. Do you feel like it's harder to get them to buy into playing, you know, because there is a lot of course, we know a lot of games, 28, 30 or something like games, you know, a season. Do you feel like that's a little bit harder now, or do you feel like no challenges there?
I think that people that love the sport and want to play sports and want to get out and about and want to be a part of a team, I think that I don't think that it's too hard to get kids out and about doing stuff. I think that that's a challenge that they've kind of always faced throughout time. So I don't think it's something that's ever not been existent. However, I think that it's something that doesn't really affect too much. I think that we're able to still get kids out and get kids wanting to play multiple sports, not even just basketball.
Right, and that's the time to do it. Whenever you're in school, to do it. Do you recruit? Do you help doing some? Are you doing some recruiting too?
Like getting more people on our team.
Yes, and just encouraging people to come out. Come on, come try basketball.
Yeah, we have a really small group this year, but I think we're all pretty strong. But as far as like recruiting people, I think we did a good job this year getting a lot of the freshmen to play. We kind of had to like encourage them to come back out and try again at a new level. But yeah,
well, that's good. No, that's good, and you can speak volumes. You know, what I mean, to your teammates. You know, on that. You know, they'll listen to you.
Yeah.
Also, going back to this year, what do we got? Do we have very many seniors? Do you know on the varsity, or tell us a bit about the kind of the makeup of it all?
We have one senior this year on the team, and that is Kylie Batt. She's wonderful.
I heard her name a lot. I tell you what, if it would have been a coffee drinking, I'd have had a lot of caffeine that night. I heard her name a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, we have one senior, Kylie Batt, and we have one junior, which is Gracie Jackson. And then the rest of our varsity team is made up of sophomores and freshmen.
Okay, awesome. And then your JV team is?
Our JV team is primarily sophomores and freshmen as well, yes.
Oh, that's great. I mean, coming up, you're building your future coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very young this year, but some people might see that as a negative thing. I don't always think that that's a negative thing. I think that it's a great thing because we're going to be able to build on what we have now and hopefully go really far with it.
Right. And then as far as how long have you been with the program, Brian?
This is my second year.
Okay, I thought so, yes. And then this is Taylor's
second year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
We started together.
Yeah. Well, but that's great, though. I mean, you guys are gone, you know what I mean, a good combination there, don't you feel?
I would say so. I like to think that we're a pretty good little duo.
Yeah. Well, and then, of course, what's your game? What's your next game? What do you think?
We play this Friday and this Saturday.
Okay, and you'll be playing, do you remember who?
This Friday we play North Harrison, and this Saturday we play Austin.
Oh, tell me some of your biggest challenges you think for Friday. Let's talk about the North Harrison.
Not even just with Friday. I think some of our biggest challenges for varsity and JV this year is just learning to play at a bit of a different pace and a bit of a different level. Since we are so young, we've got a lot of freshmen that have never played, varsity basketball. So making that transition from 8th grade basketball to, playing seniors that are, been in the weight room longer, they're older, they've got more years experience at the varsity level. I think that overall is our biggest challenge, but I think that it's a challenge that we understand and that we recognize and that the girls are ready to, meet head on.
Right. And I guess having the younger, do you feel like you guys are running? I mean, you're doing a lot of running. Do you feel like you got a running group, or do you feel like more of I guess because we just talked about, Kristen told us that some of the rules have changed in basketball. They love to do that.
I know.
It's, right?
Yeah.
Has it been hard to kind of remember that? Or?
Yeah, especially our varsity team. We have 6 primary players, and pretty much 5 of us, and then Kylie played a few games last year, but all of us never really playing in a varsity game before. It's definitely been a change of pace and just never playing before with each other really on the same team. We're kind of just learning each other's chemistry and getting to know each other on the court and stuff, and so I feel like we do a pretty good job at transition and running the ball, but we are definitely getting used to each other, and it's just going to be a process throughout the year.
I think so. But you're young, and there's going to be time for growth. Yeah, and especially, from right now, to the start of the season to the end of the season, there's going to be a huge. I can't wait to actually talk to you again at the end of the season. The growth. Don't you feel?
Yeah, I think that would be really awesome to see. I think this year we're just really focusing on playing our game, and I think that our game can change night to night depending on who we play. So I think that that's really just our main focus is just one day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time. and just playing whatever game we need to play that night to give us the best chances of success in the end. But yeah, I think that I think a lot of people are really excited to see the growth that the girls are going to have from the beginning to the end of the season.
Right. And you being a former player and Taylor being a former player, you feel like that brings a lot of good, seasoned and a lot of good information for both of you, and also both playing on two different schools. So you had different coaches. Which that to me is fantastic. You have the different, that's an advantage, I would think.
It definitely comes in handy. It allows us to kind of bounce different ideas off of one another. But I think being previous players and just previous athletes in general in multiple sports, it makes it to where I feel like we can be a little bit more relatable to the girls because we've gone through what they're going through. We've been there, we've done that. So I think that it makes it a little bit more relatable to the girls and gives them a little bit of a window. It gives us a window into what they're going through, I guess. Right. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, can definitely relate to that for sure. And then on your, what position do you play?
I'm kind of like a utility player. It depends on
a utility player. Okay, I like that. Okay.
I play a little bit like a small forward, and then kind of like the 3 position, which is like a guard.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you're just that talented, right? Look at that. That's awesome. Yeah, and you've been. I've got you because you've been. Like you said, been playing for years, and I've heard your name several times too. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's definitely like a mixed match. I feel like for whoever I can go up against, I can play in the post and I can play outside. So it's just, I guess, it's on me. I can just go against their weakness.
I love that. Do you like to find that out?
It definitely helps being able to do that, and like I can play wherever. If I get a small guard on me, then I can work in the post, and then I'm usually faster than most big posts. So,
what do you want to work on? I guess, and I know you guys. Thank you for being generous with your time, but what is your biggest thing that you want to work on this season? What would you like on your growth?
I think just growing as a team. We're only losing one player this year, which she's definitely a huge asset to our team, and it's our senior, which is, always sad losing them. But I think as we grow and as I approach my senior year, I think we definitely have a lot of talent coming, and we have a lot of players that are going to be really good as we grow up. And I think this year just getting all the freshmen in my grade and just learning how to play with each other and learning the speed, I think it's just going to be fun growing up as a team and becoming what we can be.
I love that. Well, we'll definitely be, tuning in and listening, and hopefully everybody, we want people to come and, if they can't make it, they can listen to it on the radio, but of course we want them to come and sit in the seats and the bleachers and come cheer you guys on, right?
Yeah.
So, and I guess that would be the last thing that we'd like to ask, Bryce. What do you think when people come to watch this team? Why would you say, why do I need to come to watch the Eastern Musketeers, Bryce?
That's a good question. What I think of when I think of coming to any Eastern Musketeers sporting event, even aside from basketball, it's a very family-oriented place. I feel like it's if you come to Eastern, you kind of feel like you're a little bit at home. Everybody's very welcoming. Everybody's very excited. Everybody loves the sport that they're coming to watch. So I think that if you just want to come watch good Indiana basketball with good Indiana basketball fans, I think Eastern will suit your needs very well.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. That is right. And we, living in this state, you have to love basketball, right? You know what I mean? That's what they said. I heard somebody from another state said that the ultimate goal for any coach is to coach high school sports in Indiana. So that speaks volumes. So good luck, Bri, this season. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And thanks for taking time for us. And can't wait till talk to you again or tell Taylor that next time we can't wait to hear more about the team. So keep up the great work. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telling us that.
Everybody, you can't help it. You know what I mean? Because you've got a lot of seasons. You've only yet begun. So, yeah.
Yep.
But it's a lot of bonding, a lot of great times, and I think those are times that you'll always remember. So,
Oh,
yeah. Thank you, guys. We'll grab Salem next. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, get you some food, McDonald's, and, you know what I mean, get you a Big Mac. Those are, I always want to say, you know, that right there will make you healthy, okay?
Thank you,
Yeah,
Becky.
thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, we'll get Salem on over here. We'll get Jerry Hickey, and he's brought a couple of players, too. So I want to thank McDonald's for being such a great hostess and letting us come here and share the airways right here in the restaurant. A lot going on, and I will grab you guys. Maybe just one at a time. Kendall, get in here. You could be just shot, okay? All right, and we have Coach Hickey from Salem Lions. And Coach Hickey, we're so glad. And who did you bring with you today?
I have Kendall Hickey and Bree Carey.
All right.
2 seniors.
Yes. And are you the only 2 seniors?
Oh, no, we have 7.
7? Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? That's some.
Most we've had in a while.
That's great. So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, tell us a bit about, you've had how many games so far?
2.
2 games, right? And I do want to say we got broadcasters now.
That's right.
I'm super excited, and they had a great time doing it last night. So
that's good. Yeah, Brock texted me or emailed me and asked for a scouting report, just some game notes. So I sent that to him before the game. So it sounds like they're taking it serious.
Well, I just want to say on a side note, Kelsey actually had him before she would agree to this. He had to do 3 minutes of broadcasting rehearsal to make sure that he was doing a good job before she would tell me yes.
If you're going to do it, you got to do it.
Well, I'm very proud of
Yep.
it. Yeah, so it's going to be, and we got that covered. I'm very happy about that. But let's talk about the having 7 seniors. That's awesome. But that's also going to be, it's a good thing, you know, good thing now this year. But then coming up, you know, I mean, I guess it might be a little bit of a.
Sure, they'll be hard to replace. I mean,
Yeah.
we only have 2 juniors, and so when they graduate, you know, you lose 7 kids that have been through the program 4 years, and you only have 2 to really step in that role, replace them. So we have a solid 8th grade class with good numbers. So as far as numbers go, we'll be okay, but replacing them will be really tough.
Definitely. I have no trouble believing that. But going back, let's go back to you started actually practicing like in the summer, right? You know, and have you seen a big growth from that first game with the seniors? I mean, are they, you know, from that first to the second game, are you seeing, what kind of growth are you feeling?
The summer's just a different animal, you know. I mean, nobody's
that to us. We don't know.
Nobody scouts. Nobody knows the other team. You only get a few weeks. I mean, we get 5 practices and then we play, and so you don't have anything. You're thrown into the fire, and more than anything, it's just a chance to play a little bit. So the summer's really hectic. That's not our style. That's, you know, we need a game plan. We need time to know what we're going to do, know what the other team's going to do. So it looks a whole lot different now. I mean, we're off to a slow start, but that's because we've played 2 really good teams so far.
Right, and that matters. I mean, and also, I don't think, I mean, I can't put words in your mouth, Coach Hickey, but like right now is also, you got to give some grace because everybody's, like you said, 5 practices, and then all of a sudden we're thrown in. You know, I mean, they're learning each other's chemistry.
Yeah, and it's a lot. And even though bringing back seven seniors this year, I mean, we lost a senior that was basically a 3-year starter, and she was our leading scorer, our leading rebounder. You know, she was guarded the best defensive player most nights, the most vocal. She was our captain, and Sydney Brown, and so that's a huge loss. You know, Sydney was one that knew every play, knew where everybody should be on every play, and was very vocal. And so it takes a lot to replace. Even though it was one, it was a really big one.
You're talking about different chemistry. You know, you're talking about a different chemistry, and you're also talking, everybody changes. I mean, from one season to, I mean, like Kendall, I mean, from one season, you know, last year till this season, you know, you do a lot of growth, right? Yep. Let's talk about you, okay? I'm going to leave you guys out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll pass to Bree now. Okay. And
together? Okay, well.
Whatever you want.
I thought you'd want to brag on her, too, though.
Okay, we'll pass it to Bree.
Okay, we're not going to leave you out, okay? So, Kendall, tell us a little bit about, like, well, first of all, your career of basketball.
Yeah,
it's an option.
I think I started playing in, like,
okay.
I started playing in, like, 2nd grade in the YMCA league, and I've played ever since. I've really got into it in, like, 3rd grade, started playing travel ball.
I've always played for Dad, pretty much. I haven't really played for anybody else, so that's been fun, but it's also hard playing for your dad.
Do tell.
Oh, man, you can ask any of my teammates, anybody I've ever played with, I get yelled at the most by not just only Dad, but the other coaches, too, just because you get more expected out of you as a coach's kid. You're supposed to know more. I mean, I've been around basketball my whole life, so it's tough, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right. I've followed your career. I've seen you, yes, and I know you've had quite an awesome career, but, yeah, and I think, all of those yellings are just love.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a lot of love, you know. But actually, no, that's going to make you better and make you, be the young lady and the lady that you are, growing up, you know. And forever, not only your dad will be talking in your head, but also your coach will be in your head forever. Yep. Living there free of charge space in your head.
Yep.
So let's talk about what position you play. Tell us a bit about yourself and what, I guess, your goals are this year and what you'd like to see.
So I'm a shooting guard. Have been for the past 4 years. Last year I really started playing varsity for the first time. I played a little bit sophomore year, just here and there. But, I mean, last year I thought we had a pretty good season. We played some tough teams. Our schedule is really tough. And this year I think everybody is down a little bit, so I'm expecting a good year from us. Our first 2 games, our first one against Seymour is really tough to start out with because Seymour's a big 4A school. They're really good. Yesterday against Crawford, we just got down too early in the first quarter, but we fought back, and I'm really excited for what we have to bring this season.
Love that. And, of course, is there one team that you're looking forward to get to play, or
we play Eastern next Friday, so that's always a big one that we always look forward to. It's county rivals. I mean, West Washington, we play them in a couple weeks. That's always a big one. Those are probably 2 of the biggest ones, that we're ready for. This Friday we play Orleans, so that's everything we're doing today and tomorrow to get ready for them. So I'm excited for that one.
Right. And how have you stepped up, as a leader? What do you feel like? And this is where you're going to come in, Coach Hickey, to brag on her. Okay.
I feel like our team, I have always tried to take in a leadership role for our team. I'm one of the loudest and one of the most outgoing. So the past couple of years I've been team captain, whether it was JV or varsity, and I think I try to take it on myself to lift others up when something's going wrong, because we only won 5 games last year, and it's hard to stay positive when you're losing all these games, but I try to be the best teammate I can be for my teammates.
She's going to be a CEO somewhere.
I hope so. Yeah.
You're going to be outstanding. But I think also, when you speak that loudness, where I come from, that's a good thing. That's great. Yeah, so let's brag on her a little bit there.
It's tough because, like she said, she does get the brunt of it. I've never told a kid to shut up. I've told her twice this year already. It's just different. And when we were coaching, I remember when I was coaching her in AAU years ago, I was yelling at her for something, and I looked over, and the other team's crowd was just staring at me, and I had to stop and say, "It's okay, she's mine." I wouldn't talk to anybody else that way. So. She does. She gets it hard. She gets to hear about it when we come home. But really, for this whole group of seniors, my biggest worry coming in, and even after 2 games, is are they tired of hearing my voice? And that's something that's tough to think about, because while I haven't always been like their main coach, I've always been there, somewhere. And so I've known them and been in some capacity coaching them since 2nd grade. And here they are as seniors, and I was thinking about it last night, and I was like, these girls are probably tired of hearing me yell at them, and probably tired of having to do, what I'm on them about all the time, and probably tired of hearing me say, "Hey, you're not blocking out," or "You're not doing this," because it's been a long time, and that's tough to be in that position. And I kind of sat back last night when I got home and reflected on that, and it's just kind of a difficult situation.
Right.
It's great because we have built strong relationships, but there is a time where I sit there and think, gosh, maybe it'd be better off if somebody else was here.
No, I don't think so. I think you got a great program. Having 7 seniors, does that not speak volume? Because we talked about with some of the other coaches, a lot of times, let's say you start off with that, the 2nd grade, or you're talking out little, you have maybe 25, 30 kids, at least. And then, Oval's programs in through middle school. But to hang on to 7. I mean, that's quite a number.
Yeah, and that speaks to them. That's where they started as freshmen, even going back to basically 8th grade. This is the first class we've had come through for a long time that we didn't lose one. Usually somewhere, and we've been really talented, 6, 7 years, for the past 6, 7 years. And once you get young kids with a lot of talent, the older kids start quitting. They don't want to sit the bench for a sophomore to play. And so we have lost several kids over the last few years and lost some real quality players. And so it speaks to them. I mean, we got a sophomore right now that's our leading scorer, and probably, we throw her the ball more than anybody. And there's no animosity between, our seniors and her. So it's just the quality of kids that they are, that they've stuck it through. I mean, we've had several that have played a lot of JV time, and that was to get them max minutes because we knew someday they'd be playing varsity.
Right.
And they've always kept good attitudes about it. And I mean, they're just as big a part of the team as anybody that we have.
Right. And I think that speaks volume too, because, just like later on, after graduation and there's always going to be maybe that sophomore that's going to be the ball thrown to them, in work environment, I mean, you're learning as a team, what's fair to all concerned, what's the best for everybody to get the outcome, which is a win, right?
Yeah. And it makes it so much harder too that, when you get to be a senior, you expect to play. And that's the bottom line. You expect to play.
Well, and the parents want
sure. So
yeah.
When you're 7, and then you have a sophomore that's going to play a ton of minutes,
sure.
Then you have 8 people right there that are all expecting to play a ton, and there's only so many minutes and so many spots in a game.
Right.
It's not football or it's not volleyball where you can sub in multiple positions and sub in every other play, and it is difficult. So. That's one of the hardest things as a coach this year. That through 2 games, I'm already struggling with is who's going in at what time and who's getting the minutes. And last night, we had a few that didn't play as much, but like Bree played 8 minutes, but had 7 points, something like that, and really maximized that time. And you see that, and then we have others that it was just a bad matchup. We needed more speed and we were pressing, and so we have some that don't really fit that role. So we just try to take it game by game, but that's something you just hope you can keep everybody happy, but it's really hard to do.
Well, I think that's been that's the nature of the beast, if you will, on basketball. Because you only can have 5 on the court, and and right now you've got 7 seniors and an outstanding sophomore, and I think that's that is a lot to juggle, but. I think too that it depends on what team you're playing, right? Because that's probably better, because Kendall and Bree both have great skills, but they're not the same skills.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, and all 7 have all 7's unique. So maybe a matchup against one team would be better for Kendall, and another match for Bree would be better. I mean, so you again, but then again, you have to, as a coach, have to figure out that, right?
And even within the game last night, Kendall's kind of our point man against the press. She stays back and scans the floor and moves the ball around. But then when it comes to us wanting to press, she's not our best defensive player, so we're usually subbing somebody in for her. And so you're going offense, defense, and we do that in a lot of situations based on what each player excels at.
Right. What do you feel like, I guess, what team are you guys, are you feeling like, I guess, is going to be the most challenging this year? We're just going to...
Seymour will be one of the very best. Silver Creek is really good this year. They're already receiving votes in the top 20 of the state overall. Corden will be good again. Scottsburg beat a good team last night by 42, 52, something like that. So there's some tough challenges on our schedule. The county teams, it's always going to be close. It's always going to be a tough game, and there are no easy games on the schedule. The days of playing the Clarksvilles and the Southwesterns and some of those schools are over.
Yeah.
And some of the girls ask sometimes, gosh, why do we play all these teams? And I said, well, it makes us better. I mean, ultimately, it's not the wins and losses in the regular season. It's how far you make it in the tournament.
Well, and as a coach, I'll step out and say this, Coach Hickey, you're one that like a good challenge. You've never stepped back. You've always wanted to better your girls. And you've always let them challenge those other schools maybe that are a little bigger.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago we played every school in the Hoosier Hills Conference but Columbus East, and for 2 straight years, we actually won the Hoosier Hills Conference. We keep tabs on that. Of course, there's nothing official. But when you're playing the Bedfords in the Jennings County, Jeffersonville, New Albany, Floyd, Seymour, we had great success against them. And we knew it was going to be a little tougher, so we backed off a few, but we still have Seymour, Floyd, New Albany, and so there's Silver Creek's playing 4A this year, and we'll probably move to 4A someday. So if we played our schedule that was our schedule when I first got here, we probably sitting on about 6 straight 23, 25 win seasons, and last year would have been a 500 season, and this year we're probably sitting at 500 1-1 right now. But our schedule's brutal.
Yeah, it sounds like
even our smaller schools. You look at Crawford, they win 15, 18 games every single year, and that's supposed to be one of our smaller schools that's easier.
Yeah. So much for that, right?
Yeah.
So going back on this, we talked about like 28, 30 games. These girls, these are true athletes. How do you encourage them to take care of themselves? And we know also, and I don't want to speak anything in the universe, but like injuries and things like that, pulled and tore and things,
Well, injuries are the greatest fear. You don't want a kid to have to go through that. And we had Leah Miller go through that a few years ago, lost her senior year, and probably cost us a state championship.
Yeah.
But I fear for any of them. Every time they hit the ground, that's your greatest fear. The good thing is we are close, and obviously I have a kid on the team, and so it's easy for me to know when we've pushed too hard. And actually today I gave them the day off. We played hard last night. Kirsten twisted her ankle late. Sarah's been nagging with some injuries. Laney got beat around like a ping pong ball last night, and we were just tired. At the end of the game, they were in the locker room and their eyes were closed, and I could see it. And I went home at lunch and had a practice plan ready, and it was 82 degrees and sunny out. And I said, you know what? Let's just take a day. Let's get away from a day. And so I told them to go out, play golf, enjoy the sunshine, and rest and relax. So just making sure we're on top of things like that. But they feel comfortable enough that if things aren't going well and they need a break, they know to come talk to me.
I love that. I think that's good. And today was a beautiful day to have a day off, right? Mm-hmm. And it looks like we're going to start getting into colder weather, and then it won't be so much.
Yep.
So that was well played, Coach, on that. So let's talk with Bree a little bit here. Bree, tell us. I know we get and then because I want to hear Coach talk about her a little bit, brag on you. So tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I've played basketball for a lot of my life. I started obviously in YMCA basketball, and then in 3rd grade I really got serious about it, and I've really played ever since, and I've always been with Hickey, so that's been really fun. And I'm really sad to graduate, but I'm thankful for all the time that I've gotten.
Well, that's understandable. What is your career going to be after graduation?
I plan to attend Galen College of Nursing and just continue my path from there.
Oh, we might be nursing the team this year. Start with those skills, right? And what position do you play?
I'm a forward, maybe a little bit of a center, just depending on who all's in. But yeah, I've mostly been a forward.
Right. And what do you feel like, I guess, as far as like your senior year stepping up and being, one of the leaders? Do you feel like that's a role that's been easy for you to step into, or, is that a little bit harder for you to do?
I feel like it's pretty easy. I think I'm usually one of the ones that usually during drills, if the JV's in and the varsity's off, I'm usually one to start clapping and cheering the JV on, and opposite whenever we're on, I'm telling the JV to cheer us on too. So, yeah.
You want to brag on her a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
Bree is definitely one that I think her skills have grown as much as anybody we have from the time where she was younger and even through middle school. There was a time that I didn't know if she'd stay with it forever, and she was playing softball at the time and some other things, and she has really come along. And we always played her in the post. That's where she spent most of her time. And then a couple of years ago, she started really shooting well from the outside, and so then we gave her kind of the green light, and so she started shooting some threes for us, and hasn't as much this year because we're so guard heavy. But like she said, based on who's in, she plays the center position sometimes, a forward position, and a guard position a lot too. And one thing that she does bring to us is we're not very tall, and she brings some length to us, and that's something we desperately need especially defensively. So she really has grown into a player. Like I said last night, she was, I think Sydney was our leading scorer with 14, and then Kendall and Bree were somewhere around 7, 8 apiece. And she did her damage in less time, but was very efficient. Caught a couple balls on the end of fast breaks and finished them, and that was huge when they were pressing us. So, we hope that she continues to grow in that role for the rest of the year.
Right. And just talking about, when she's starting at a young age, maybe she has certain skills, but then as she gets older and grows, is that, as a coach, is that something that, you see where the talent, and she, shifts and put her in a different position? And I mean,
yeah, when she was in probably 7th grade, we didn't have her handle the ball at all, and now we're at the point where she can play on the perimeter and shoot that 3-point shot. So we have several of them that develop as they go along. Allie Clodfelter's another one. I don't know if Allie scored 20 points her 7th, 8th grade year, and last year she has 18 in the overtime game against Borden, hits 3 threes, down 3 with no time on the clock to send it to overtime, and so she's made a ton of growth, and you could say that really about all our seniors. Lainey is just a defensive machine. Last night she played as hard as any kid I've ever had play for me in 21 years of coaching, and was all over the place. And Maggie Gibson, same thing. I remember, I think it was 8th grade night, and I don't know if Maggie had scored all year, and she makes a bucket on 8th grade night, and the crowd goes crazy, and now all of a sudden you go from she scores a bucket, and the crowd thinks that's crazy. So I'm yelling at them last night to not throw the ball to Maggie when she's posted up. And Kirsten is another one of our seniors, Kirsten Sexton, and she was one that scored a lot more when she was a kid. She was stronger than everybody, and so she scored a bunch. Well, she's the same height she was when she was in 6th grade, and so her scoring's down a little bit, but she does the little things like rebounding and playing defense and setting screens that we need. So, and then same thing with Sarah. Sarah Haichu has evolved into a shooter for us, and that was a role that we've needed her to fulfill more and more as she's gotten older. So she's battling some injuries in the preseason, but we're hoping to get her back to 100%.
Right. Well, it's pretty amazing just to listen to him talking about their career. You from middle school. This is pretty awesome that you've seen this growth, and I'm sure that you've been amazed, and it's probably pretty awesome to watch this.
It is, and it's awesome to see them grow as people too, and to know that you've been a part of their lives for a long time. These are girls. I've never had this before. The girls I'm coaching are ones that were spending the night at my house when they were in 7th grade, or 7 years old, and sleepovers, and so they've kind of grown up with me. So that'll be the tough part about when they go. I'm obviously losing a daughter, which is going to be tough, but I'm really losing 7.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's pretty awesome, though. So going on, and I'm amazed if you remember. He's got you guys down. That's might be kind of scary there, because I'm thinking, you remember I used to do this and do that, because that middle school can be kind of awkward ages,
Sure.
So, but they've come into definitely becoming butterflies, and this is their time to fly this year, and to show to what all the previous years are about. And what about some of this new? We got some new rules, and tell us about how that's going to affect, you think, your team.
People talk about the huge changes it's going to make. The first game we played, you didn't even notice it. There weren't a lot of fouls. Last night in the first quarter, we got in a little foul trouble and sent them to the double bonus early. But then it ends when the second quarter starts, and so we really haven't seen a big influx of change from it. I've done a little research on some ways to use it to your advantage, and I've got that in my back pocket if we ever need to do it. But so far, and maybe in a closer game than what we've had the first two, it'll be more of a factor, but we really haven't seen it so far.
Right. And has it changed any of your practices, the way you're practicing a little bit?
No. I think, if we continue to foul like we did in the first quarter, that may be something we put a emphasis on, but I'm not telling them to back off on aggressiveness.
I love that. Yeah, that's right. Go forward. Yeah, go boldly into the night.
Yeah, our JV maybe now. Our JV plays like football players half the time. So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I like that aggressiveness. That's great. Yeah. Well, and then, of course, your JV coaches,
Mackenzie Frazier.
Right.
Yep, formerly Mackenzie Underwood, that played for me on our first state team. Mm-hmm.
So how's that feel? That's pretty awesome.
It's different. It's hard for me to not see her as Mac, the player, and and Coach Frazier, and I always try to call our coaches by Coach Tomlinson, Coach Burton, and Coach Wade Swift, and with her it's hard, so I'll say a lot of times like, well, look at Mac over there, see what, and so I try not to do that, just to give them that respect that they deserve, but it is harder when it's somebody that's played for you.
Definitely. And I'm sure, and I know, working together and her building the program and getting them ready for the varsity. You guys have to work hand in hand and work together, quite a bit.
Sure. Yeah, it's good, and she does a good job. We got a good group of freshmen we're excited about, and 2 sophomores that, Sydney, again, is starting varsity and really giving us quality minutes, and then Alexis Modlin has just improved over the last 2 years. It's unbelievable how much better she's gotten, and she actually got some varsity minutes last night and played real well and maximized that time.
Do you feel like this group that you've got this year is like, are they more running, or is it more, what's their game? What's their specialty?
We're definitely more of a tempo, control the ball sort of. Yeah, that's our style.
I like that.
And in saying that, last night, though, we were down late. We were down 14 trying to make a run, and we went to our press, and it gave Crawford all kinds of trouble. That was something that I wasn't really expecting, so that surprised me a little bit. That may be something we start looking to do a little bit more, and see how that works out for us. But offensively, we stress just controlling the ball, taking good shots, and trying to limit our turnovers.
Right. And when's the next game?
We are at Orleans Friday night.
And tell us about that game. Is that going to be a tough game?
Yeah, it'll be tough. So we had a real close game with them last year. We ended up losing by 3. We had a decent look at the buzzer to tie it up, and then they really didn't lose a whole lot. They lost, I think, 3 seniors, 2 of which played pretty good minutes, and then, of course, we lost Sydney Brown. So we're kind of bringing back the exact same stuff, so I would see it being a very close game. And with girls basketball, so much of it is about who makes shots on that night.
Mm-hmm.
So
anybody's game.
Yeah.
I think girls basketball game, I'd have to agree with you on that. I just think it's...
Yep, and once you get on a roll, you can stay on that roll. I mean, we thought we were down and out last night after the first quarter, and then next thing you know, we go on a 10-0 run, and we're right back in it. So it's just important to not dig yourself that hole.
Right, and it's at Orleans.
Yes.
Yeah, so we want everybody to come out and support the Salem Lions and black and gold.
And Orleans is such a great place to watch a game. It's just an old school gym. They have like the best pep band around. Their concessions are awesome, and still the only public school that I know of that prays before the game. I just think it's just a really cool family environment. So if you haven't been to a game in Orleans, it is a special kind of environment.
Love that. All right, Bree, I'm going to have you give that back to Kendall real quick, because Kendall, I didn't get to ask you. I do want to I know we need to get out of here, but I didn't get to ask you, after your senior year, when you graduate, what are you thinking about? What kind of career?
I am planning on being a nurse. I haven't really decided where yet. I'm between IU Bloomington and Louisville right now. I'm waiting on my IU acceptance, but I've got my Louisville one, so I have an internship at our hospital right now, and I love it. I see Abby. I love it.
Abby's going to be so excited you said her name.
Okay, I saw her yesterday.
She's a fan of yours. We're a fan of yours, yeah. And Bree, you too, but we do know her a little bit better here. But, yeah, that was awesome. Well, and
you know how crazy she is. The only thing that keeps her from thinking about nursing 100% is she really wants to coach. And so there's that education piece in the back of her mind that she always thinks about. But
you could do both.
I'm like, with the right nursing job, you could still coach somewhere.
I would, yeah. And I definitely, both of you, I would be very happy if I was in the hospital and you were my nurse. Okay, I would feel very good hints, because I think the skills that you're learning and the people, the people person, being learning how to work with people, and also learning how to better yourself and just keep on, and your dedication. 7 players, seniors. That's fantastic. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, we're proud of that as well. We went to Rotary last week, and I made sure and point that out. That really says a lot about these kids.
It really does.
And I said, it's such little things, but you look at senior night. who's going to start senior night? I mean, those are tough decisions that I've never had to make before as a coach. I think maybe 2 years ago I think this is it. I think this is the first group where I've ever had more seniors that can start a game.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But, there's such great kids I've already had, too, that say, it's okay, we don't need to start. Let somebody else start.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I love that. You guys. Well, maybe you could draw a name out of a hat. Step in the hat and,
Well, and I told them it's a long season. Let's see where we are.
Right, that's true.
You don't want anybody to be injured or anything, but let's not wish our season away and get to the end of it. Let's enjoy it, and we'll deal with that. Hopefully we have that decision to make in 3 months or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, you guys stay healthy, okay, and eat your vegetables. And remember, you guys got dinner here at McDonald's. McDonald's treats us. Remember, I always promote the Big Mac. It's very healthy, right? And I do want to say the McRib is coming back, so I'm excited about that too. So thank you, ladies, for coming in. And Coach Hickey, thank you. I'm so proud of your team, and it looks like I'm going to be with you maybe this season. So can't wait to hear how we advance. And thank you for taking your Wednesday nights and spending time here. And this is where we're going to be meeting here, right here at McDonald's. And it's good because we had to bring us to the studio, back at the studio for a little while during COVID, and then now we're back, and happy to be excited about that for sure.
Yep. Well, thanks for having us.
Best of luck this season. Go get them, Salem Lions, black and gold. And thank you for taking time. And I'm going to go ahead and send it back to the studio. I want to thank McDonald's for being wonderful and letting us come in here and hanging out with these cool people. And thank you guys for all the coaches that came in from East Washington, West Washington, and Salem Lions. All right, back to the studio we go.
Be sure and set your dials to WSLM 97.9 FM and 1220 AM next week for Coach's Corner, live, brought to you in part by Salem McDonald's, to get a front row seat into local high school sports with your coaches from Eastern, Salem, and West Washington. Your hosts will be back next week with more from the Eastern, Salem, and West Washington sports.